Well, howdy folks, and welcome back to the garage. Today we are previewing for you the brand new map of World of Tanks Blitz, Himmelsdorf. Himmelsdorf is the first true urban city-like setting map in World of Tanks Blitz. There's been a little bit of town structures here and there. Port Bay had a little bit in it that was getting there, but this is the true first urban map in Blitz. In World of Tanks PC, Himmelsdorf is a classic. It's been around forever, and in fact they like it so much over there in PC land that they have two versions. They have a winter setting like this one, and they have a non-winter setting Himmelsdorf. Now, before we get too far in, let me say that this map is very different from the PC version, most notably in the lack of the fighting area on top of the hill by the castle on the east side, but in many other subtle ways as well. Despite this, the personality of Himmelsdorf shines through quite brightly. As our first truly urban combat setting in Blitz, this map has lots of short sight lines to play peekaboo with, but also some long sight lines down the east and west sides of the map, and a cap area in the center. We're going to have a look at each of those main areas in its turn. Right off the bat, Himmelsdorf feels really big with so many different locations and just as many options as to what route you would take to get to them. Most maps only have a 2 or 3 main routes of travel due to the way the map is laid out, with cover or not, and the fighting takes place predictably in the same locations every battle, it seems. Even though Himmelsdorf has so many different locations and so many different routes one can take to get there, fighting will likely boil down to a few main locations and routes as people play follow the leader, and the leader goes where they were successful last time they played the map. The difference here, though, is that with all of these different routes available, there is a lot of room for innovative strategy and tactics, and if Blitz ever has an esports type component, they will need more maps like this. One of the things that I have noticed in driving tanks around on this map is the ground resistance seems to be really low. Just an impression, but I've never seen my Jagdtagger do 38 kilometers per hour on a flat before. I think that's to facilitate movement from one side of the map to the other, since there are 3 spawn locations and your team is more likely to be split up than on any other map so far. With tanks able to reach high speed, battle will be joined quickly, but rescue of a failing flank may also be viable, whereas it can be difficult to help out on other maps. The 3 spawn locations, numbered from east to west, 1, 2, and 3, are set along the north and south ends of the map, and from here there are 3 general routes that people will take: through the rail yard in the west, the eastern roads, or down the middle towards Cap. The rail yard stretches north-south the full length of the map with numerous obstacles providing cover along the way. This area will likely be slow going as you pick your way through and stop to deal with enemy tanks that have plenty of hard cover to keep them safe. The eastern roads have clear sight lines from one end to the other of the map, so you may find that progress will be faster here, but do take note that while there is less cover on this route than the rail yard, there's still enough for a vehicle to find protection. A vehicle up front and cover could provide spotting for long-range sniping from rear positions, making this route very dangerous to travel, possibly. Following the general trend of wargaming to make Cap more accessible from many directions, we see here that there are 10 access points where you can drive your tank into the Cap area. As well, there are multiple places where you can fire into the Cap area without actually entering it. To balance this out and assist a beleaguered capper, we have 4 hull-down areas here marked in red where you can find some protection, and the cap itself, marked here in yellow, also has some hard cover within. And in between all of these areas, actually probably the part we've been looking forward to the most, having an urban area, we have an extensive grid of streets and side streets which offer many opportunities for combat or flanking movements. With little or no elevation in the map, tanks with poor gun depression will not be at a disadvantage here. As well, the long sightlines on the east and west sides of the map should also offer opportunities for TD drivers, which, you know, they haven't really had in the last couple maps, so they should be happy about this one. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for our map preview here of Himmelsdorf, the new map coming to Blitz in Update 2.4. With this map being so much different from other maps in the game already, I think we're going to see a lot of different gameplay, different strategies, different tactics, and I think that's going to bring a welcome freshness back into the game, because you know, the other maps have been getting a little stale, and this one I really think is going to be interesting. It's really going to be different. As always, folks, if you like this video, please consider a thumbs up underneath, and be sure to check out both our Facebook and our Twitter feeds. That's where all the information ends up, you know, that doesn't get into videos, so you can keep up on what's going on here all the time. If you really like our videos, please consider subscribing. That way, when we share awesome content, you won't miss out. Okay, folks, thanks very much for stopping by and watching. I'll catch you next time.